The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, The Gavigan Agency, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into our show today. A very special guest is going to join us. He is Clayton Mccullich. You may remember that name from J.H. Rose baseball, from East Carolina baseball. His dad has been involved in the majors for a long time, and Clayton's been involved in the majors for now a long time. I still think of him as a college kid or a late high school kid, but he's gotten up there in age. He's got a family and everything, and now he is moving up the ranks in Major League Baseball. He's interviewed for a couple of managerial positions, and he's going to get one very soon. Clayton Mccullich will join us coming up. He's the first base coach for the LA Dodgers, and he's up next right here on The Brian Bailey Show.
Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it New York style. So you can fold it or not. Hang on, I fold it. Get a New York style pizza from Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, the new Papa John's New York style pizza is a MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Fruitopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Grow Rug 26 is coming to Greenville March 25th through the 27th. This is DJ Fussell from F3 ENC, inviting all men to sign up now for this leadership training event. The Grow Rug training events are designed to help men become high-impact men by reinforcing the F3 mission of invigoration of male community leadership. To register or to learn more, please visit f3enc.com. That's f3enc.com. Remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you've got to get started if you want to be great.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
Hi, welcome back to our show as we continue on this Monday. Clayton Mccullich joins us. He's the first base coach for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Spring training certainly just around the corner, and we're thrilled to have him. He will be the guest speaker, one of the guest speakers at the East Carolina Baseball Banquet coming up on Saturday night, so he'll be back in town, but we've got him before he gets here. Clayton, welcome to the show.
Hey, Brian, thanks a lot for having me. Good to hear your voice again.
Man, good to hear your voice again. I enjoyed our conversation the other day, and, it's been one of the blessings in my life to stay in one spot and to watch people come through, and you're one of the greats that have come through. I mean, you came through at J.H. Rose and then at East Carolina, and then kind of keeping up with you throughout the minor leagues. You had a chance to play a little bit as a player in Kinston, and then, of course, moving on and just watching you, and we can't wait until you get that managerial job because we know it's coming as well. I know you've interviewed a couple of times, but that time's coming too, don't you?
Well, thanks for that. You know what? I guess professionally, ultimately, if that opportunity were to come and someone felt like, hey, you're the right person to, kind of lead our franchise and our team, I think that ultimately, at least at major league level, that's the position that would be, it'd be incredible. So, a lot of work ahead, and as you mentioned, having the chance to interview a couple times kind of opens your eyes a little bit to maybe what it would take for that to happen. So at least right now, I'm just going to try to be a better first base coach in 22 than I was last year. But one day, who knows?
We'll come back to that in a little bit because I want to come through your whole career and how you got started with everything and really talk about your days at East Carolina because I know you'll touch on that coming up at the banquet. I just had a chance to meet with Coach Godwin for about an hour today. We go over the banquet and I get a chance to MC again this year, so I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing and hearing you coming up on Saturday night. But when you were at J.H. Rose, let's go to the high school ranks first. What do you best remember about playing baseball with the Rampants?
Oh God! I mean, I think best remember is we did a lot of winning. It was a lot of winning. How it is. High school. That's an important time. In your life there, being at home, and I think had incredible teammates. A lot of guys that are still my friends to this day. And I think what stands out probably more than anything with some of that is Ronald Vincent having a chance to play for RV. I mean, still to this day, RV we'll try to stay in touch as best we can. But he was just very instrumental and a terrific person, at that time. RV, Brian, there was never a time when you didn't call RV and say, hey, want to go hit on Saturday? He would never say no. He was always available, very calm and cool. RV, I guess I probably ruffled his feathers some with, my behavior at that juncture, Brian. But RV was just a steady influence for us. And again, his availability and willingness to always be there. If we wanted to get better, RV was gonna make it happen.
And those days obviously led up to your choice. You decided to go to Vanderbilt, and I think you were at Vandy for a year, right?
Yeah, 1 year at Vandy before coming back to ECU.
What was the deciding factor in coming back to East Carolina?
I mean, at the time, wanting to, I think in some ways at that age, wanting to get away from home a little bit and go experience something kind of on your own there. Vanderbilt in the SEC academically was very strong. So I think those things, attracted me. We had a lot of young players that were kind of be coming in my class. So, Nashville being a great town, and it wasn't that far away from home, enough to be able to feel like you're away, but also, you can hop on a plane from Nashville and be home, pretty quickly. So, I think I go through a year and it didn't, honestly, Brian, I can say it now and have before, I just wasn't mature enough to take everything on. My priorities at that time weren't where they needed to be, and academically I struggled, and did not do well. So, you get through a year and reassess things and kind of where I was, and felt like the best decision was for me was to, come back home and, need to get my stuff in the classroom together, while also seeing what was going on at East Carolina with, Coach LeClaire had just, kind of come in now and was, had a lot of my, either friends I played with in high school or, competed against, the Cliff Godwins, John Williamsons, Bryant Ward, that were there. So it was a chance to just, in a lot of ways, just come back home and get grounded a little bit and, and grow up.
You think about some of the names you just mentioned, obviously just great East Carolina Pirates through the years, and Coach LeClaire kind of changed the whole mindset of Pirate baseball. It's always a winning program, but I think Coach LeClaire kind of took it to a different level. What was it like playing with Coach LeClaire?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. And Coach O had a ton of success there, and for a lot of years. And East Carolina's always been known, as a really solid baseball program. And then, when Coach LeClaire came in and, put his stamp on there, and the goal simply was to get to Omaha. I mean, it was to go to and compete and win a College World Series. And I think that was what, guys bought into. I mean, he brought in some, guys like Eric Backage, Nick Schnabel, kind of a different flavor, coming from the West Coast coming in, and Lee Delfino. So we had a good mixture of some local guys who, there's a pride factor of playing, at your, university there close to where you grew up, and having friends and family that can come watch that. And then, you sprinkle in, guys from other places that come in there to just want a chance to play, compete, and win. So we had a really good mixture of players: Tommy Easton, Kev McMullen, George Whitfield, coaches there, along with Coach LeClaire, were they pushed the right buttons with our group there. And I think we kind of, as we bought into the messaging and believed that we were, we had a chance to do this. Kind of, you play with that little chip on your shoulder. You kind of get tired of hearing about UNC or NC State and, this or that. And it was kind of like, we're going to, we'll show people that it's a good collection of players here that might not be as publicly known, or as, high profile type guys. But when it comes to playing and wanting to win, we were a competitive bunch.
He mentioned some other great names. Eric Backage, Nick Schnabel doing a great job with Michigan. They're coming back for the LeClaire Classic this year, so that'll be cool for them to come back to East Carolina and get a chance to see everything, all the changes with Clark LeClaire Stadium and everything. But and that was a bunch, just a bunch of players that really, won so much and had so much success and really, talk about NCAA regionals and super. And the reason that Clark LeClaire Stadium was able to be built was because of teams that played for Keith LeClaire.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It was, I remember, the old jungle and the old ballpark, still brings back fond memories, but then to see what's been done there now and the type of facility that, Cliff has there, it's awesome. It's cool to, like you said, look back a little bit, and while, we weren't the reason why it was built, but to have a hand and, at least kind of, some success that led to, that type of investment, enthusiasm in the program. And I failed to mention, Chad Tracy as well, Joe Hastings. So, we did. We had we felt like it was a good group, and to, be able to put our little stamp on what has been a very successful program for those, 4 or 5 years is, I think we still look back on it fondly.
Chad Tracy will be back for the banquet. That'll be a great picture. Get some of you guys together that were on that team. Do you have any great Cliff Godwin stories? Anything that you can share with us that maybe you can't share at the banquet, but you can share with our audience?
Maybe I'm going to save a few for the banquet.
Okay, you can do that too.
But I'll tell you, I was Cliff went to Green Central High School in
yeah.
Hill, and Cliff was a terrific athlete. Football and basketball and baseball, and I think what still stands out to me is how competitive Cliff was. This dude wanted to, it didn't matter. You pick up a football and start playing catch, and next thing you know, we're comparing our high school, our high school stats, and I'm like, well, dude, you ran the option. We actually we'd progressed into the 21st century of football. So to rib him there, and us both being catchers at that time, we're competing for kind of the same spot, but we're still friends. And I will say, I think one thing, Brian, with Cliff, it's still I think it's amazing the success he's had on the field with the program there, but more importantly, the type of success that group has had in the classroom. What he gets them involved in away from the field is probably you wrap all into being a student athlete, even if things have changed, as an amateur nowadays, but it's still it's important. And their guys, it takes a lot of discipline to do as well in the classroom and then go on the field as he demands of those guys. So I think, big kudos to him for where he is, continue to take the program to another level.
And that's the thing that we don't talk about enough, but it comes up once a year whenever they announce the GPA for the team. But and I joke about it all the time that if you're the backup, second baseman and you come in with a 3.2, you bring the GPA down. And that's just unheard of. But that's the kind of pressure that those guys are in the 3.4s, the 3.5s, the 3.6s, and that's really difficult, especially as a student athlete.
Yeah, like you said, and those guys are balancing, all the time it takes to be successful on the field as a collegiate athlete, and then in the classroom to have that type of success. And then also, you are at the time you're 18 to 22 years old, in college, wanting to probably experience, football games and just being a a college student. So finding the way to, again, have like the type of discipline to excel in all those areas, while also being a good representative for, the university and, Eastern North Carolina. It's allowing those young men's plates. But I think, Cliff has just certainly, hit the right buttons there and makes it important. So it's important to his guys.
Clayton Mccullich, our guest today, as we talk baseball, Pirate baseball, Dodger baseball, Major League Baseball. We'll talk it all. We'll talk minor league baseball a lot, too, and go through Clayton's career so far with how he's gotten to where he is now with the LA Dodgers. We'll take a commercial break right now, and we'll come back with more on the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday, kicking off your sports week after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. The Pirates dropped a heartbreaker to the Cincinnati Bearcats yesterday, 60-59. Joe Dooley's ball club fought back from a 12-point second-half deficit to take a 1-point lead late, but Bearcat guard David DeJulius got an offensive rebound and put-back layup with 3.7 seconds to go to give UC the victory. Vance Jackson led the Pirates with 25 points. ECU is now 11-9 overall, 2-6 in the AAC. The Pirates will host Temple Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow led a second-half Cincinnati comeback, and Evan McPherson kicked a 31-yard field goal with 9:22 left in overtime to give Cincinnati a 27-24 victory over Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. In the NFC Championship game, the Rams got by the 49ers 20-17. It'll be the Rams and the Bengals in the Super Bowl. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has more American Airlines flights. Book today at aa.com. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom with Team Coop Strong. We want to invite you to the Coop Strong race on March 19th. This unique race has a 4-mile course, a ruck division, and an awesome after party. Proceeds support the local nonprofit Coop Strong, which provides financial support for those fighting ALS, scholarships in memory of Dr. Nelson Cooper, and funding for ALS research. You can sign up at runtheeast.com and follow Coop Strong on Facebook for all of the details. As always, we appreciate your support, and go Pirates!
Burgers, wings, hand-cut, hand-breaded chicken tenders, fresh salads, and cold beer is the starting lineup at Tiebreakers and has been keeping customers happy for 20 years. Tiebreakers' family atmosphere is the perfect place to come watch your favorite team play while enjoying a great lunch or dinner. In a hurry or looking for catering options? Get Tiebreakers to go. That now includes the new curbside pickup by ordering online at tiebreakersnc.com. Tiebreakers.
Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of Pirates and ENC. Open 7 days a week from noon until 2 a.m., the Buck features live music every night of the week. Tuesday is karaoke with DJ Captain Morgan. Wednesday is acoustic night. Thursday is the DJ dance party. And Friday and Saturday nights, it's live bands. Check out the Buck's Facebook or Instagram page for more information. The Buccaneer Music Hall. We'll see you at the Buck.
Pirate Radio.
I think this is a pretty blue-collar, tough, hard-nosed fan base, and that's the way our teams are going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned, community-powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday, getting your sports week started with a bang with Clayton Mccullich joining us. He is the first base coach of the Dodgers. He's had a great upbringing at East Carolina and J.H. Rose, and he's had a great run through the minors, both as a player and as a coach, and he's done just about everything. And his dad, Howard Mccullough, has been a longtime friend. I think I met Howard, I think it was the very first meeting of the Hot Stove League way back, and we were both charter members, but it may have even been before that. But I remember Clayton as a youngster. I remember his mom was actually, she taught both of my kids in school, and she did a great job. They both loved her to death. So it's a great family, and I know you're very proud of both of your parents, aren't you, Clayton?
Oh, Brian, for sure. I mean, it's funny, my mom talking about, growing up there and, J.H. Rose in East Carolina. My first Little League coach, my mom, she was on the staff. Clement, she was one of the coaches, and I think it lasted a year till she. But it was that was good, and my dad being intertwining that the community, and certainly leaned on him a lot and still do, and appreciate how his work ethic and so I'm definitely very proud of my folks and blessed.
And it was always cool to me when I talked to your dad and even talking to you. I mean, you guys have so many connections in Major League Baseball with people that we only, in Greenville can see on TV and can think about. But you guys always have time for everybody in Greenville. Howard's always been one of those that's been bounced around to come back to Greenville and help out here, help out with Ronald Vincent, help out with anything that's going on. And, it's really neat when you see. I always think about the same thing with the late Greg Biagini was very much like that when he was based out of, lived out of Winterville, but you guys travel so much and do so much, in baseball, but he was the same way. And it's really a unique concept.
Yeah, I would say my dad. I mean, I think, he's a great man, and I think his willingness to always give back, I think be appreciative of, how much baseball has provided him and our family, but then also, again, that community in Greenville and how special it was. And it took us in when we moved there. I was like 9 years old, to come in and, to be welcomed as we were, and kind of, woven into the fabric of that town. And I think now, like, as I know I've been fortunate to be able to meet a lot of people through my dad. It's opened up doors for me. But also to look at how he's always treated people and his work ethic and, do anything like, modeling behavior. So I hope I'm living up to that. But again, real proud of, and of everything that he's been able to do.
All right, so you started in the minors in the Cleveland, now it's the Guardians, but it was the Cleveland Indians organization at the time. What was it like as a minor league player?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I was, a fair player. Like, there were certainly, a number of guys more talented, and I think, that I was a little older. I was a senior draft catcher. I was lucky enough to have some terrific coaches and managers there. Louis Rivera, who's the third base coach now with the Blue Jays and has been for a number of years. I had him as a manager for like 3 seasons, and Louis always took care of me. I mean, he'd make sure he'd always tell me I'd play on those Sunday day games or after a long bus ride. That was about what my role was on the team. Kind of suck up some of those unflattering type games. But he was great. And again, Brian, I wasn't that good, but, had the chance to, stick it out. And then it got to a point 4 years in or so where I just kind of knew that, hey, this is, everybody's path is a little different. And mine as a player, ultimately I'm not going to be a major league player. Maybe it's time to, rethink things and how I can transition. And that led me to spend a little time with Coach Eason one fall at Pitt Community College while I went back to get my degree. And then Billy Godwin at ECU had an opening that spring for volunteer assistance. So that was kind of like my first, kind of foray in transitioning from playing to coaching. While I was still working to get my degree.
What did you like about spending time with Tommy, another great Pirate Hall of Famer, but spending time with Tommy at Pitt Community College and then bouncing over to East Carolina under Billy Godwin? What did you see right there that knew, hey, I want to be an instructor, I want to be a coach, I think I can make this as my living?
Yeah, I think I always, love the interactions with teammates and like the clubhouse atmosphere, the chance to, really be about, school was easier for me than Brian when I wasn't playing anymore. So it was like, okay, I'm a little bit older, priorities have changed a little bit. And again, like Tommy was, getting things going over there at Pitt, and I'd always loved and appreciate all the help that Tommy gave me when I was a player. Like Tommy's no nonsense. Like, guy was an awesome player and like, tough, demanding of us, but at the same time, like, he was great for that time. Like, I didn't know I was doing coaching, but Tommy would be like, hey, you kind of go take care of this. Like, there's just things going on. Go make guys better. So I think, seeing his work ethic, Tommy's out there taking care of the field. He's getting it all set up, like putting a practice plan together, helping the guys in the weight room. Tommy's a hard worker and has earned everything that he's gotten. And then Billy having the chance to go that spring at ECU. Link Jarrett was an assistant then, who, Link and I are still good friends and talk and kind of, a little different, getting to see the bit of the inner workings of the recruiting aspect of things. And then, again, more practice planning and, to be on the field in a non-playing capacity, and trying to separate, like, you're no longer playing. Now it's about giving back, and it's about, helping the guys, get a little bit better. like that always kind of gravitated me towards the coaching side of things. And led to some, opportunities beyond that with the Blue Jays once I, got into that summer. So, that year of finishing school and getting a chance to spend some time at Pitt and also at East Carolina, was great. And, Brian, when I went that first summer with the Blue Jays, 2006, and I was just a coach on one of our teams in the Appalachian League, rookie ball, getting to see the pro side of things was good. I got early on to see, the college side and what that took and what it was about, at least to a small extent, right? And then to go do a professional summer, it felt like the professional side of just kind of waking up and being all baseball and, some of the headaches of the paperwork and whatnot was kind of more my lean, at least at that time. So I think I got, I got lucky that an opportunity presented itself to stay in professional baseball and begin with the Blue Jays.
And you were up in Pulaski, right? That was your start. I was born in Bluefield, so you were right around there. And you played many a game, I'm sure, up in Bluefield and some of those other Marion, I think, is one of them. But there's so many of those little towns, and really minor league baseball. They've kind of taken away some of that when they restructured and everything. But the Appalachian League was a nice league, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a great league, and it was. And like you said, things had changed a lot in minor league baseball, but there was still something to like. You get on the bus, the travel wasn't always great. The accommodations were what they were. But at the same time, like, it was fun. Like, you shack up with your buddies, your teammates. It's just baseball all the time. You get up in the morning, you're getting yourself ready for that day's game, and you go play a game, and you do it again the next day. So, like, you kind of look back now and joke at some of the things, where you ate and where you live. You're scraping by whatever bit of money you kind of have. And, look, I'm glad that they're making some improvements now, quality of life for minor league players. But it is a bit sad that some of these more, historic type cities and ballparks that have had, minor league baseball for a number of years, in some ways have been squeezed out because it was just, it kind of took you back to, kind of how, baseball was. This has been, small town America for a lot of years. So like that part I, enjoyed and loved.
I think now they're doing with some kind of wooden bat leagues for the college players for some of the Appalachian League teams. Like I know we go to Bluefield in summertime and we stay in Princeton, which is another one, and we stay right near their ballpark right there. I'm sure you've managed there before too and coached there before. But they've still got something going on, but it's probably just not the same. But there's had to be some just crazy days riding the buses and getting from town to town and just playing baseball.
Yeah, that's right. That's all it was. I mean, you didn't really have to think about, really anything else. And when I was with Toronto, we had a team, we went into Bluefield, and the Orioles, as had been there forever.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays got an affiliate in Bluefield, so then having a chance as a minor league instructor to go back into Bluefield, like you said, after having been a player and come through there, kind of come around full circle a little bit. But again, you just appreciate the people who come to those games. Like they just, hey, this is what we have in the summer, to come out and, get a chance to lay eyes on what are potentially going to be, major league players one day. And guys at that level of the minor league, people, they play hard and they're scrapping and clawing for opportunities, and might not be always be the prettiest baseball, but you kind of get a chance to see some of those at like the earliest developmental levels.
So obviously, as you're starting off as an instructor and a coach and working with other managers, the Blue Jays saw something in you and they wanted to make you a manager. I know you were at East Lansing, the Lugnuts, because when I first read that, I thought, what a great name, the Lugnuts of Lansing. But you're 2011 Manager of the Year, 2012 Manager of the Year, different places. So obviously, they've seen something in you that you're a leader amongst men. Does that kind of mean something to you?
I mean, certainly it does. I think that's kind of, the first year I was just kind of a coach, and you're just running around, just working. It's great, right? And then, like managing the chance to, you said lead a group, lead a clubhouse, be part of like what you hope is a level of improvement from day one until the end of the season, and you put them in a better position when that season ends, going into the following year than they were to start with, and that's both. With their skills baseball-wise and their baseball IQ and acumen. But the nice thing also, just like it is a young developing adult, and then trying to set them on the right course of, at the time, what our organization felt like were important qualities. And I think just also like, you're just helping to shape and model young people. So I definitely did. And like, go back again, like to high school football days, Lonnie Baker is the head coach and like, being a quarterback. And I think sometimes those things are just like, I've always really, enjoyed that. And, so when I got a chance to manage with the Jays at different spots and levels, that was the part, you really liked, was just kind of the day-to-day interactions with guys and helping them through some tough times. And also, probably maybe one of the funnest couple of years I had, Brian, was after I had managed, in Lansing for a couple of years and then gone to the Florida State League. I went back to, a couple levels below and like rookie ball again in Vancouver. And then like, it's a different perspective for me now, 5 or 6, 7 years into doing this, getting those players out of the draft and like their first taste to professional baseball in our organization and, what you're trying to, the path you're trying to set them on. So like, that was a lot of fun for me to kind of go back to that, at a different stage where guys were, again, and hopefully, get them off on the right foot as a professional.
How hard is it to juggle the fact that as a manager in the minors, you're really there to help players improve, develop players, but there's still a win and a loss. They still keep score on the scoreboard, so you're not out there scrimmaging, you're out there winning and losing. So you want to win games, but you also want to develop these players. How much of a juggling act is that?
I mean, definitely. I mean, that's the big balancing act, right? Of like, like you said, winning is important, and having players develop in a winning atmosphere, at least you think like is an important thing. But then also, like you said, you're trying to follow through on organizational mandates, whether it's playing time for certain guys or innings for pitchers. Hey, if nutrition is an important part of our organization, like how are we going to impress upon our guys like the value of that and establishing some work habits and values. So, you're juggling that stuff with the players, and then also, like, you have your staff. Like, most of the time at those lower levels, it can be where you have young trainers, you have young strength coaches. You may have some other pitching coach or hitting coach that are breaking in, so you have a responsibility as well to, help develop your staff and build, kind of your own culture within your team. Like, there's 7 or 8 affiliates, where we have an organizational culture, but then also like, your team is kind of your team, and like what standards do you want to set and what expectations do you want all those, staff members and players to have, but again, I think that's kind of fun. Like that's the enjoyment part, is to watch a group come together, with a common purpose and goal, each year, and each year is different, right? The players change the next year, potentially staff does, maybe what's important to you might shift a little bit. So I think the ability to, evolve and adapt while also, staying true to what, you believe in, kind of your core values, was kind of my guiding light.
As a manager, you also have to deal with young umpires. So take us through your managerial career. How many ejections for Clayton?
Oh, my gosh, Brian, yes. But I will say each year they kind of went down. I mean, I think, I was certainly probably much more of had a shorter fuse, maybe a bit more emotional, those first 3 or 4 years managing, because like there's times when you just kind of, like your team, maybe you got to go defend your guys, for whatever reason. You go out there and you get upset and boom, you're gone. And you're like, all right, I kind of did that for the team, like for this player to protect them, defend them. And then sure enough, the next day, there's actually a play in the game that warrants like, a confrontation and need to go out there, and you're like, oh my gosh, here I go again. I'm about to go 2 days in a row.
Back to back.
This isn't going to be good. I definitely, I toned down as I did a little bit. And like you said, those umpires are young, man. They're trying, and, it's moving fast for them too. And golly, a 2-man crew, on a field trying to see everything. They just can't. Like, it's not even fair. So I think I stepped back and realized that, the more screaming I'm doing, the more arguing, you just could see the players, like, they just, okay, that's what we're going to do too. And you're like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. Like, this is kind of not what we're going to be about. But then I'm thinking, well, if this is how I'm acting, I really can't expect them to be any different. So, but it's funny, I think there's an umpire, actually this year was his first year in the big league. So I see him, one game I'm coaching first, he's over there and we say hello, and we're laughing, reminiscing. And that was the first guy that he ever ejected. So like, that was like 10 or 12 years ago. Like, he still remembers it and I remember it. And like, we're friends now, and cordial, but he remembers that, that instance. And I tell him, like, dude, you still owe me that $25 that it cost me getting fined for getting thrown out, because I was right.
Were there any weird plays that you got thrown out because you were arguing just a weird call or a weird rule or anything like that?
There was one so we're in the Northwest League. I'm managing in Vancouver. I think we were playing in the Boise team, the Cubs, and so our team's on defense. All right, our guy throws a pitch. It actually bounces. The kid hits it off the bounce. All right, boom, it bounces. He hits it. It goes up in the air to our shortstop. Right. Well, their guy just takes off and runs into first. Our guy catches it. And they're like safe at first. I'm like, well, wait a minute, like, hold on. I go out there and the umpire's like, well, the ball bounced. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I think we all know it bounced, but like, it bounced and then he hit it. Like, it left his bat and went in the air. And he goes, no, Clayton, the ball bounced. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got that it bounced, but I'm not sure how, like, this field isn't the most manicured and, like, well-dressed, but it's hard to think that the ball he hit and now it bounced 50 feet in the air for the guy to catch. Like, hold on. He just kept going back, Brian, till it bounced. And I said, yeah, I'm like, all right, can you go ask, your buddy, like, and they finally, got together, and I think they did change it and called the guy out. He hit it off the bounce, which was fairly impressive.
That is impressive.
He just couldn't get off it, like the ball bounced and he hit it. And I was like, well, yeah, but like there's a distinction, right, of like when did it hit the ground, like pre-contact, post. So I remember that one just being a string. Like, you just don't see that, like, happen much. Off the bounce, hit it, and actually goes in the air to a defender, catch it, and then it's kind of like, no one's really sure. And then I guess one other play that was quirky was rookie ball again. Weird stuff just seems to happen in rookie ball, Brian.
Yeah.
Bases loaded. We're on defense. Guy crushes one out to left center. Our center fielder goes over the fence to rob it. Okay, catches it. Now the players on base, they've just run. Like, so you got multiple guys that have passed each other. Now they're trying to scramble and run back. The hitter, he's not sure. He thinks it's a homer. One of the umpires out there, he's not sure. The ball's just kind of getting thrown back into the field. And when the dust settled there, like, nobody knew who was out and, like, who went where, because those two guys couldn't see everything going on. So, like, this guy tagging up, well, yeah, run score here, this guy. And so that one got me ejected, because I think by the end of it, it was like this, this chaotic scene right here. There's no way that, like, we can come out of it and, like, be cost a run. And, like, that was a wild one.
Yeah.
Bodies running around the field, nobody knowing what's going on.
And you can almost visualize that in a game where the exact situation you said, long, fly ball, guy jumps at the fence, makes the catch, falls over. Guys are, one guy's tagging up, one guy's running past him. I mean, if the guy's running past him, the guy that tagged up, what happens to that play? There's a number of things that could have happened on that play.
Yeah, people are trying to point where to throw, and then you got to try to appeal it, and now it's like, all right, these guys have never had to probably appeal a play, and now is the ball still live? Is it, you have to step off. So it was a kind of a chaotic scene. And you can imagine at like 2:00 on a, Wednesday in Dunedin, Florida, when it's about 99 degrees, with 100% humidity, it was funny.
Clayton Mccullich joining us. You're in Florida, right? You're home in Florida?
Yeah. So we made our home in Jupiter now.
That's what I thought.
It'll be eight years this fall.
How does that work during the season? I mean, do you get a chance to get back at all?
Yeah, I mean, working for a West Coast team living in Jupiter is not ideal.
Yeah.
But I think my wife and I still joke, we wish we were still in Vero Beach for spring training, but that ship has sailed. So we're, my previous position, Brian, when I was like minor league field coordinator and had the ability to, bop around and, go out for X amount of days, come home for a bit was really nice and made it workable. I mean, last year I left around Valentine's Day and we came home 2 days before Halloween. So I went about however long that is without seeing my home.
Wow.
So that was, tough to complain. Everything was great, but that was definitely, a little bit different now with our lifestyle than was in previous years.
From Jupiter, Florida, Clayton Mccullich joining us. We'll take a final commercial break, and then we'll come back, and we will rejoin Clayton and talk more about his Dodger career, and then we'll wrap things up with Clayton right after this.
It's bow time. We think a chicken sandwich this good should speak for itself. But when you're talking juicy, hand-breaded and boldly seasoned chicken breasts, piled up with thick-cut pickles and creamy mayo, all on a buttery toasted bun? Well, we are happy to say it again and again and again. Bo's Chicken Sandwich, only at Bojangles. It's Bo time.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations, from the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
When I need jeans, I order online because I know exactly what I want. They have just one moving part, and if there's something wrong, I exchange them. Buying a vehicle, especially pre-owned, is way different. Lots of moving parts. You don't want to get stuck. For a worry-free purchase, visit Phelps Chevrolet. We've been here in town a very long time. You know us. You know we stand behind everything we sell. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Come get you one.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
This is Amanda Houston, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Go Pirates!
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
Hi, welcome back as we wrap things up with Clayton Mccullough, who is the first base coach for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So, Clayton, fill us in on your role with the Dodgers as the first base coach. What are your primary responsibilities day-to-day, game-to-game?
Yeah, so primarily, so the outfielders, the positioning for the outfielders in game, along with any of the work we'll do before game, putting together their our drill packages and our work during spring training. So defensively, that's where most of my attention is with our outfielders, and then I help out with our infield coaches, Dino Ebel, our third base coach. So when able, help him out as well with our infielders before the game, but mostly it's our outfielders, and then on the base running side, I will, I go in and look at the opposing pitchers, starters and relievers for, maybe anything we can use in advantage, pick-off moves and times to the plate, and at first and second. So those two things are where the bulk of my time, is spent in preparation, for a series, and then within a game, making adjustments with guys based on where we're at and what's going on.
I had a chance to visit one of your teammates when he was in the majors, Chad Tracy. The Diamondbacks came to Baltimore, so I made arrangements to go up and interview him in the locker room, and he showed me around a little bit. I was amazed that that weekday afternoon game. It was a night game, but they get to the field very, very early, and some of the guys sitting around just watching videos, and so many and I'm sure it's improved since then because that's the technology's changed so much. But just watching video after video and trying to see, as a hitter, what you're doing is, just there's so much to, just the little parts of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not many secrets anymore, Brian. With like you said, everything's on tape. You got video of from every angle, and anything you'd like to pull up. And then with the amount of data and statistics now, the prevalence they have in the game, like it was tough. I mean, there's no secrets with players. We know, a guy comes to pitch, like you have a good idea of what makes him successful. But on the flip side, with our hitters, I mean, they know where your holes are. They know where your weaknesses are, where maybe you're currently struggling, and how that matches up. Defensively now you can track, sprint speed, burst, reaction, range. So in a lot of ways, it has made coaching easier because there's just, there's less gray. I mean, a lot of it is, kind of black and white. Like, here's an area you need to work on, and this is, here's what the numbers are telling us, and you're always, there's some context with everything, situationally, but, yeah, I mean, the amount of time guys put into their preparation that day. I mean, our guys are in the cage all day long, like you said, looking at that night starter, looking at their own swings, our staff members. I mean, that's a big part of the day is, you're preparing for that day's game, Brian. I think I found this out quickly. It's, you have that game today, but like tomorrow comes quick and one series to the next. So, it's while we're in the middle of playing, 3 games at home against so-and-so, we know in a couple days, hey, we're starting a new series, and we've got to, be prepared and be ready going into game 1 of that series. So you're kind of always, working ahead for what's coming, while also, like, the important thing is today's game and winning and preparing the guys for that. So it's a kind of a constant, back and forth, and, those series and those games add up. And I'll tell you what, man, love the stretches when we start playing teams in our division, like back-to-back, because your familiarity with them, at least, you don't have to maybe grind as much as you do for a team that, you haven't seen or, you see once a year.
What's it mean to you when you're sitting in the locker room hours before the first pitch of the game, but you're putting that nice, clean, white uniform on with Dodgers on the front of it? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it was, I think, some couple times, you take a second and look around and go, I mean, there's, again, like this is, as a kid growing up, I mean, this is, in the major leagues, to be at a major league game and be in a major league stadium. I hope I never take it for granted. And Dave Roberts, our manager, says that a lot. Like, hey, boys, nothing like a major league game. Like, and he's right. Like, I mean, it is. You go out there and, it's it's a big deal. And there's only, there's 30 teams, so there's 30 first base coaches. There's just there's a lot of people who would love and die to be doing that. So I think there's part of that is, now it's, our responsibility to do the best job I can and be an impactful member of our team. But there's, there is, I'm not going to lie, part you walk out there and you're like, man, here we go. I'm in Dodger Stadium right now, standing here and, especially in the playoffs, Brian, my first experience this year in the playoffs, which like it's all about, and to, know that, hey, we're the only game in town tonight, and like going and like, our whole city, like, people, coming out to support and watch this. And so that was, you just know that not many people have the opportunity to do that and how lucky you are. And again, I hope I don't ever take it for granted. And I hope I continue to get opportunities to, keep doing this.
Now, your home's in Jupiter, Florida, but you're in Los Angeles, obviously, a lot of the time as the first base coach, rather, with the Dodgers. Yeah, what do you have to do as far as, do you have to go out into that traffic in Los Angeles at all, or kind of do you stay away from all that?
I guess luckily our jobs are, the commute when I have to go into the field is, I'm usually going, against traffic, or it's a time of day when, at least out there, if it slows down a little bit, around 12, 1 o'clock, it's slowed down some. And then at night, man, you zip back. But, oh, yeah, I think Brian, you just expect it to be a little bit busy out there most days. I mean, my poor wife, they spent the whole summer out in L.A. We rented a house, actually close to Bryant Ward and his family, which was incredible, to have our families close together last year. But I think her having to drive from the beach downtown, you start to realize it's not about miles. It's just like how long it's going to take. She might take an hour and a half to drive, 20 miles, depending on the time of day she goes. So for her,
it's not quite Fire Tower Road and Greenville Boulevard, is it?
It can take a little while. But I tell you what, like it was, again, like the experience, like it's just tough to complain with the the stadiums and the travel and getting to see the best of the best players every night, and be around some of the best players, is great.
All right, my buddy Brian Meador is a big Dodger fan, so I know you probably remember Meador, but we want to get a scouting report. How good are the Dodgers going to be this year?
Well, Brian, we should be. We'll be good again. I think we'll go in the spring with as good a chance to, play for a World Series as anybody else. And our Andrew Friedman, Brandon Gomes, members of our front office, they're just relentless with, acquiring talent. Not only the Trey Turner, Max Scherzers, those types of deals, but I think unearthing some potential diamonds in the rough and how those guys can come in and be a part of helping us win. So I think it'll be frenzied, I would imagine, once things get back going business-wise again with some of the free agent signings and trades. So confident that our group, what we have returning and what we'll ultimately add, will put us in a position to, hopefully stay healthy and win 6 more games than we did last year.
Yeah, Clip Brock back here with Pirate Radio is doing the Tomahawk Chop. He's a big Brave fan, so
we were due for one. We were due for one.
Oh
finally.
My gosh, my kids now, they do the thumbs down. They went to those games, so they heard enough of the chop. And I was a Braves fan growing up. That's what you watch, right? TV passes on the Braves, and now I got to say I'm not as much a fan of the Braves as I once was.
Well, I guess to say how big and bad the Dodgers are. Once once the Braves won the NLCS, I felt like we won the championship. Like getting past the Dodgers was the main deal. That's how much you're respected. Your team's respected, Clayton.
Yeah, the Braves were good. They did. They played better. So I guess if you were going to lose to the eventual champion, I guess it took some of the sting out, maybe a little bit.
All right, so you work in Los Angeles. Those Rams are headed to the Super Bowl. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I know. It's great. Again, like the Lakers have, won a championship a couple years ago, and we won it in 20, and now the Rams playing for a Super Bowl. So, yeah, exciting times in LA, and I think that's just, it helps continue to drum up excitement, as we go into next year too. Hopefully the Rams will finish this thing off and win the Super Bowl, and we can, come back next year and put ourselves in position to win another World Series.
Clayton Mccullich joining us today. He'll be in town for the East Carolina baseball banquet. You're bringing your son, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, my son Kyle. He's 5.
That'll be fun. He'll enjoy the banquet. If you need somebody to look after him, just bring him to my table. We'll hang out. It'll be fine.
All right. I'm just going to hope he doesn't pick everything up and throw it. He's kind of, he's into baseball now. He likes to throw anything. So we're going to have to, tell him that, keep the bread on your plate. Baseball.
Cliff's got a pretty good staff, but he can always use another arm.
Yeah, I know. I bet. I told him, Cliff, class of 2037, whatever it is, we can start talking a little bit about, scholarships. They recruit earlier now, Brian.
Yeah, they most certainly do. All right, Clayton, we most certainly appreciate your time today. Thank you so much, and we'll let you get out of here and get some business going. I know spring training, as you said, just around the corner. Wish the Dodgers the very best of luck, and we can't wait to see you coming up this weekend.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, and I look forward to seeing you and everyone else on this weekend back home.
Sounds good. Clayton Mccullich, join us. We'll take one final break, and then we'll wrap things up on this edition of the Brian Bailey Show for you coming up after this.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's only true chop house. We're open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Seared combines a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Lunch or dinner at Seared is a quality-driven experience where we highlight a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house, located on Fire Tower Road at Bell's Fork. Come see us at Seared for lunch or dinner 7 days a week.
If you like the look, if you like the style, you'll love it for less at Bostic Sugg Furniture. We make it so easy to bring style and beauty to every room in your home. And today, get store-wide savings on brands you love, with hundreds in stock and ready for you. Pamper yourself on a new Serta Arctic mattress and get 2 free Arctic pillows. Plus, 48-month special financing with no minimum purchase. Now, at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
Pirate fans, get ready for a winning season and team up with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer and proud sponsor of the ECU Pirates. When you do business with us, you'll get things done right. We're proud to offer a large selection of new and used John Deere equipment, a fully stocked parts department, and a highly trained staff who is here to support you throughout the life of your equipment. So get quality done right before every ECU game day and visit qualityequip.com.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
North Carolina State Parks is proud to announce that they have partnered with the Hometown Strong program. Our visitor centers are now equipped with public Wi-Fi to help kids with school. Remote learning has become a critical public health measure in maintaining social distance and continuing to educate our young people. Take advantage of Wi-Fi and a hike at Goose Creek State Park or a day trip to the beach and access remote learning at Fort Macon State Park. For more information, visit hometownstrong.nc.gov.
This is Brian Bailey, host of The Brian Bailey Show, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the show. I got to do that promo over again because I had a cold or something in that deal, and it pops up in my own show. But welcome back to The Brian Bailey Show. As we wrap things up, Rams and the Bengals headed to the Super Bowl. I wanted to bring Clip on for a second just to kind of chit-chat about the NFL games. I was amazed that the Bengals defense did what they did to the Chiefs in the second half, and a lot of people are talking about the play right before the half where Kansas City threw a little screen pass and didn't get close to the end zone and really lost out on at least 3 points, and they should have thrown to the end zone and may have gotten 7. But I think that was the amazing part of that game. And then the Rams and 49ers were just kind of a slugfest that kept going back and forth. What do you think?
Amazing. But we've seen this before with the Bengals and Chiefs. They met in the regular season. Chiefs scored 28 in the first half and couldn't get anything in the second half.
They should have had 28 in the first half this time, right?
Well, yeah, or 24.
Right, either or.
That we talked about that decision at the end of the first half earlier, but credit to the Bengals, their defense getting it done. And then, the second game, I give Kyle Shanahan all the credit in the world, but I saw somebody bring this up. We're talking about another team that blew a big lead in the second half that Kyle Shanahan was a part of. Of course, he was the offensive coordinator with the Falcons in that Super Bowl. And then yesterday, the Rams are able to get it done. And I like it, Bailey. Kind of a random Super Bowl. I mean, the Rams we thought they'd be good going into the year. Nobody had the Bengals, so I'm excited.
No, and the Bengals, I guess they're coming out with it now, the best ever from one year to the next improvement now, because they won 4 games last year and then they bounced back and now they're in the Super Bowl. So
there was a stat that they had the second most, and I'll see if I can find this real quick, but they were up there with like the 81 Niners and then the Panthers that went to the Super Bowl. When they got lost to the Patriots as teams that had come back from, I think, the worst record in football, and 2 years later been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. We've got 2 weeks to wait for the final game of the year, the Rams and the Bengals. And next week you'll have the team's arrival, and then, of course, the Rams are already there. And then you'll have the media day, which is such a crazy production now. It used to be, and I'm not sure because of COVID how they'll do it this year, because they backed off some, I think, last year.
Especially with it being in California.
Right. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But in non non-COVID situations, they've turned media day into some kind of spectacle where the players would come out, and then it was just it used to be they bring some players out, space them around, and as a photographer or reporter, you go up and you get your interviews and that kind of thing. But now it's total chaos. But I don't know.
Super Bowls. Did you do the media day?
Never got a chance to do the media because both Super Bowls I went to, the Panther one we got a chance to cover, but we didn't get the chance to go until I think we went on Tuesday or Wednesday. Media day's on Tuesday, so we must have arrived on Wednesday. I tried to talk them into going a little earlier so we go to media day, but that didn't work out that year. But and I've never done media day, but I don't even think I'd want to these days because it's just a different deal. All right, we're going to close things up. I want to thank Clayton Mccullich. He will be the guest speaker coming up this week for the East Carolina Baseball Banquet. I hope you have your tickets because it's sold out, but it's really a great deal. Just an outstanding night to come because you get a chance to meet the players, you hear from the players, you hear from Clayton, so it's going to be a great time, and Cliff Godwin does a great job with that. So we will have that on Saturday, and we'll have some of that on our sportscast as well later on. So thanks to Clayton Mccullich. He is the first base coach with the Dodgers, and he's the former Rose and East Carolina Pirate star, for being with us on the Brian Bailey Show. Have yourself a great sports week, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, The Gavigan Agency, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
Join us next week for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, right here on Pirate Radio. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Somebody wins $50,000 in the Rocket Mortgage Super Bowl Squares sweepstakes. See rules and enter for free at rocketmortgagesquares.com. So I was in Kansas City for the entire weekend, had a great weekend there. I was part of the NFL Today and CBS. I know that was one of the worst weekends ever for you Chief fans. And that's not going away anytime soon. And it probably didn't make you feel any better that I busted out on this show on Monday morning and called you choke jobs. Not you, but your team. And you know what? I've thought about it. I said it. It's kind of sat with me. I had a long break between hour 1 and hour 2. I stand by it. Choke job. And again, I'm not a hot take artist. I think long and hard about that because the worst thing that you could say about an athlete or the worst thing you could say about a team is that they quit. The second worst thing you could say is they choked. Because quitting is the worst because it's hammered into you from day one. If you're any kind of athlete whatsoever, participating in any athletic endeavor at all, you're told from day one, never quit, never quit, never quit. You cannot quit. You can't quit no matter what. You can lose, but you cannot quit. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on your teammates. Don't quit on the people who you're counting on. Just don't quit. You can't quit, ever. You can lose. You can get your ass kicked, but you cannot quit. So calling somebody a quitter is the worst thing you could say. Calling somebody a choker is probably the second worst thing you can say. So I'm really careful about that. But they choked. You're up 3 scores at home. You've been there before. It's a hostile environment. You're playing for the right to go to the Super Bowl. Everything is going right. And you come from ahead to lose. And by the way, it wasn't like they stood in and traded haymakers like they did against the Buffalo Bills and the last team holding the ball won. Or it came down to a coin flip, which, it could have. They just melted down. Like, I can't even believe what I saw from Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City and Andy Reid and everything involved. So, yeah, it's not a nice thing to say, but it's a true thing to say. They choked. So we hit on that in hour number 1. I also mentioned that take nothing away from Cincinnati. They were awesome. I love Cincinnati. I can't wait to start talking about Cincinnati. One thing that I do want to say, coming off that weekend, I don't want to lose track of this, and this is one of those, like Tom was just telling me, Chalk, a lot of straight takes. I said, good. That means the idiots are not out. Let's have some straight takes. But there is one more thing about that trip that, well, there's a lot of things. A lot of things went down on that weekend. There were good things. But one more thing I want to share about that. So when I was coming back from Kansas City yesterday, and I know a lot of you do the math, and the truth is, no, I do not keep a private jet. I do not.
You know I keep a private jet.
I don't. Hey, Rome, so what's the big deal? You have a private jet. No, I do not. They do not fly me private. The cost to fly me private would so far exceed what I give to them in terms of content and value. Trust, I do not fly private. So not only do I not fly private, I did not fly direct on the way back. So on the second leg of my trip, the flight attendant starts off by saying, "Hello, everybody." No airlines mentioned, American. So the flight attendant starts off by saying, "Hey, good news, bad news. Good news is our lavatory works. The bad news is it does not flush. But we have water up there. You just need to use it. We will make sure there's enough water up there." I'm like, so what you're telling me is I'm in a flying outhouse. I'm in a flying porta potty. Can I tell you the porta potties, the outhouses that were adjacent to our green room were nicer than some bathrooms I've been in, these trailers, and way nicer than that flying outhouse I was in last night. And you know me, I'm not the guy to complain about travel. Travel's travel, and especially now in a COVID era, it's tough. Like, if I get on a plane and it leaves on time and it lands on time, that is such a win. I couldn't care less about anything that happens in between unless I'm first on the downgrade list. And that's kind of a drag. But I thought that was pure comedy when they said, "Hey, listen, good news, y'all. Our lavatory does work. Not so good news, it doesn't flush." Well, but if it doesn't flush, it doesn't work, right? "Oh, no, sir, it works. We're just going to leave like a jug of water over there. And you just got to use that water and then flush. So please do that and have a great flight." I'm like, I'm in a flying outhouse. Awesome.
Hi.
So there was that. Let's see what else we got here. Rome. Chiefs fans are pathetic if they think the fix is in. The NFL would never do that. Regards, making sure the LA Rams make it to the Super Bowl held at SoFi Stadium. Eric in Colorado. Yeah, that's nice, Eric. It makes no sense either. They already got that last year, right? The home team played on the home field, and they won. Been there, done that.